Thank you for tuning in to yet another principal podcast from Newport Harbor High School. Sean Bolton, school principal. This is podcast number 13. 13 for the Dodgers currently is a fan favorite, Max Muncy, the power-hitting left-hander. Everyone, Mr. Armstrong's a Cub fan. Obviously, he doesn't care for the Dodgers, but that's okay. The other number 13 for the Dodgers that's famous is Ralph Barranca, who gave up the shot heard round the world. 1951 to the New York Giants. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It was a sad, sad day in Dodger history. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about Evening of the Arts, which is coming up next week. It's March 31st. It's a combined effort between art students and culinary students. It's a community event that is now going on its 30th plus year at Newport Harbor. And also our Welcome Aboard event, which is next Monday, but we're not going to talk about that too much. So today we have Freddy, Bradley, and Brynn, who are students at Newport Harbor High School, here to talk about it. Brynn is our lone senior, Freddy and Bradley are juniors, and of course Mr. Armstrong, who's the co-department chair of English, IB teacher, and also a true Newport Harbor High School sailor, a teacher at school that we value highly. So let's get into it. Next Tuesday is Evening of the Arts and Taste of Newport. So Taste of Newport is the culinary part of Evening of the Arts. Obviously, Evening of the Arts is the art component of it. But all three students are involved in FCCLA, which is Family, Career, Community Leaders of America, an organization that's over 100 years old. They compete on that level. And also ProStart, which is a national competition team that we host at Newport Harbor, and you've competed in both obviously and done very well. And so why don't you take it away and talk a little bit about Taste of Newport and also Evening of the Arts. And Brynn, you're the lone culinary arts student that's going to talk about both, and then we'll just get right into it. So why don't you go ahead and kick us off, Freddy, and talk about Taste of Newport, what's on tap, the theme, all that good stuff.
Yeah, all right. So this year the theme is various games. I think it's Battle of the Games.
It's Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. So various booths centered around board games, so like Fortnite, Monopoly, Twister, and those. All of the different like food items are kind of related to those overarching booth themes, and it's going to be a great night.
Yeah. All of our students in culinary have been working really, really hard to make it work. Preparations have been undergone for, I think, 2 weeks now. Yeah. And everyone's really hard at work, and the work ethic's really great right now. And at least for us, we're also doing the orange juice booth. That'll also be at Taste of Harbor as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, our teachers have been working really hard through all competitions, through ProStart, through FCCLA, and then jumping immediately into Taste of Harbor. And also as an art and culinary student, there's going to be a lot of art that is themed around mind maps and sort of like ourselves and working with what we like and focusing on one sort of topic. And then I'm also a ceramics student, so we will have a lot of ceramics items in there as well.
So you have ceramics, art, and culinary.
Yes.
And so talk about some of the booths first for culinary, some of the tasting themes that we have coming up for Hunger Games, all too appropriate of a name.
We have Blackjack, Twister, Fortnite, Candyland,
Monopoly,
yeah.
Clue.
and Clue.
Yeah. Those are there's six, yeah.
Yeah, 6
Those are
booths.
And so, like, Clue, for example, will have lamb
I'm on
chops or...
Clue is going to have our a ceviche, which is going to be on it's we did it for ProStart, so we're bringing that back. So it's going to be a tropical ceviche with plum for Professor Plum. And then we're going to have a Colonel Mustard croque madame sandwich, or croque monsieur, which is just a bechamel and a egg and smoked ham. And then we have a Dirty Dagger Shirley Temple, so it's going to be a Shirley Temple with cream, and people can like shoot in their own the syrup. And then we have our mole and steak kebabs, which is a mole verde sauce, which is just a bunch of chilies and spices roasted for a long time and blended up. And then steak kebabs with fresh veggies, and a coq au vin, which is like a chicken stew, basically.
And that's in all the booths?
That's just in our booth.
That's just in one booth?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Anything else that you want, any foods that you want to highlight that you're excited about?
There are like, we don't really know because, I mean, each person, like each booth is kind of focused on their stuff. So there isn't really like kind of like cross like communication. You're just like focused on that. And obviously, Miss Pylon, Miss Kingsbury know everything. So
What booth are you focused on?
we're doing the orange juice booth, so it'll just be orange juice as well as some of the merch from Yoki's Garden.
Okay, fantastic.
What's your secret to a good orange juice?
Fresh oranges.
Fresh oranges.
All right.
Pretty good
Ingredients,
sweet.
ingredients.
Yeah.
There we go.
But, Mr. Armstrong, from a teacher, educator, staff member perspective, what does Evening of the Arts mean to you?
Well, I'm not an arts teacher, and I feel kind of like an imposter. It'd be great for one of them to be here. Unfortunately, I just have a free period right now, and they're all teaching. So,
But you go every year.
I go
right?
every
you bring
year.
Your wife. I mean, a lot of staff shows up.
My wife comes whenever she can, and she's very disappointed when she can't. When I told her it was on March 31st this year, she immediately looked at her schedule, and she was fired up that she was available that night. So she'll be there. A lot of staff come. We get to hang out with each other, and that's always fun. A lot of our spouses come, and so that's also great. And I think that speaks to the quality of what we can expect at Evening of the Arts, both on the food side and the art side. And if we're being honest, I suppose the food itself is artistic in its own way. So I think that Newport Harbor has all this amazing stuff going on. And you can see amazing athletes at our athletic performances, and you can see the results of our great academics and, our numbers and our test scores and graduation rates and where our kids go to school and what scholarships they're getting and all that. And then there are also these other public sort of things that you might see, Model UN or, the new debate team or what DECA does. But, the art, the non-performing arts, we get Arrayas, we get our spring musical, we get choir concerts, orchestra concerts, but the visual arts side of things, it doesn't have a lot of opportunities to be public facing.
Right.
And so I think it's just a great opportunity to just see what is happening in those classes. I'm lucky I teach in the home arts building, even though I'm an English teacher. My neighbors are art teachers, so I have a little sense. I get to see little bits and pieces. But when you go to Evening of the Arts, it's like you see this amazing talent that I don't know if there's a lot of other times and places to see it. And I think that's one of the things that really brings those crowds.
That's a great point because the performing arts, the athletics, and so forth. It's very public. It's very visual. But art students don't necessarily get to showcase their talents, and neither do the culinary students. And what is great is that a lot of staff does show up, their family shows up, and also a lot of community, alum, people that may live across the street or heard about it on our social media feeds, and they come out and they want to see the artwork. What I get a lot of is they cannot believe the quality of the
100%.
art. There's different mediums of art, photography, ceramics, and traditional painting and drawing. And then the food. I mean, it's like they're blown away by the food. It's just exceptional with the choices of it. What joy do you see? Let's just focus on food, for example. What is the joy in making food and serving food and tasting it?
I would just say, when the food tastes good, it kind of reminds you of like certain memories. And so when the food's good, it's kind of like you're just like happy in a way almost.
Yeah, I'd say when the food's good, your body reflects it. People smile, people laugh. So if you're having a good time, there's certainly good food with it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a very difficult thing to cater and to make such high quality food for a lot of people. So it gives kids experience not if like you don't have to go into culinary, but just to be able to make that much food or to make good food for yourself in an easy way and in a short amount of time. Like we only have an hour and a half every class. So it gives kids life experiences, and it's just amazing to see what techniques it takes to produce such high quality food for so many people.
Right, and it does put a smile on people's faces.
really does.
And there's a timeline. March,
Yeah.
31st is Evening of the Arts Taste of Newport, so you have to make the food by then. And also, it's an expression. It's an expression of culture, of individuals, of different resources that we have with food and where we get it from, and just the themes.
Yeah. And I love that Brynn says, we only have an hour and a half. And in a world where, we look at videos in 15 seconds and try to consume things in short bursts, there's like value in working on something over time and the recognition of like what comes out of that. And I think that quality we see that in Evening of the Arts. It's like the long haul marathon that leads to there.
I love that class so much. I wish it was 6 hours long. Like, I really do love working on the food, and like it is my form of art. And I'm going to culinary school next year so much because of this program, because I love this program so much. And like, it's unlike anything else. Like, we have one of the best culinary programs, and I'm so grateful to be able to take it. And being a senior in it also is one of the best experiences because they give us so much creative control, and like, they really do listen to us when it comes to ideas and execution and stuff like that.
Miss Pylon and Miss Kingsbury
Yes,
are two teachers in culinary. And that's a really good point. In this instant gratification world, our students are taught patience, taught precision, taught intentionality when it comes to making food, and that can sometimes take hours, right? And food around the world, it doesn't matter where you travel, brings people together. And in more countries than not, people enjoy a meal around family and friends, and it does take time to make, to consume, and because conversations evolve around it, community involves around it, and it's an important piece of just being human, really. What's the favorite thing that you've made in culinary? What is the favorite food choice?
That's hard. We've made a lot of good stuff. I have to think now for a second. I'd say probably first year foods. We made this really good like braised chicken wings. That was really good. And what else? I feel like this year we've made a lot more dishes with like meat, so that's also been really good. Yeah, I'd say definitely the chicken wings.
Okay.
I would say second year, the baking and pastries, the cake project. We made a 2-layer cake. It was red velvet. Personally not my favorite, but it's pretty good. Gained a lot of experience, especially with just making cake. I've never made one before, and I just remember it was over the course of 3 classes, just learning how to make a cake. It's something that you'll just remember. It's really good.
So we got chicken wings, cake, and?
My favorite was when we learned how to make sourdough, and we made our own starters, and we had to keep it alive, and we had to bring it back and forth from our houses to school, and it was very difficult, but I ended up making brie and bacon, fig jam, thyme sourdough loaf, and it was delicious, and I would totally do it again, and it was very interesting to learn about.
Wow.
I would love for you to do that again. I missed the first time.
Yeah. And there's some biology in that as well, about yeast,
it's
and
literally you're keeping something alive.
Right.
It's really it's an interesting task.
Yeah, and there is some biology in marinated chicken wings too, right? The metamorphosis of what it does to meat per se. Now, talk about art a little bit, Brynn, and what is showcased and where it's showcased. Because again, we have painting and drawing, we have ceramics, we have photography, and they're all on display. Where do you display it, and how is it displayed, and what are the themes surrounding it?
Well, personally, I'm not sure what my art teachers chose to display. I know what we've done. Like, we've done a poster project where we would pick a poster from a different art era, and we would remake it basically onto, like, we would paint it, we mixed our own colors, and I really loved that project. I love painting, and I chose to do a Sublime album cover because they're my favorite. I have the fish paint on my jeans right now. But yeah, so I'm sure that would be displayed. And then as far as ceramics, I know personally I have a coil pot being displayed, and I did a little wave in it. So it's kind of just themes that are like maybe natural and like just things that like really look really good, because I saw a lot of Mr. Torres what he picked, and it's kids that took a lot of time and a lot of effort, and they chose like intentional glazes, and they really thought about the process. So I think it's just really thought about expressive art that's going to be displayed.
Right. What art have you seen that's impressed you? Because I distinctly remember some art installations that have just left an impression on me.
Well, it all blows me away because I'm not much of an artist. And it, when you see these 16, 17-year-old students doing stuff that's well beyond anything you've ever been able to do, it's humbling and it's awesome, and, just gives you a sense of appreciation. I think one experience I pretty much always have is there's a student whose name I recognize that I had no idea what kind of an artist they were, and I look at it, I'm like, whoa, how did I not know this? And you teach long enough, and you have a lot of these moments about like kids' backgrounds and things. You get one small slice of them as an English teacher or a science teacher or whatever. So you get this other side of kids that you just never expect. And I would bet that for any parent who comes here who's had kids that have grown up in this community, you go and you'll see names you maybe haven't recognized in a long time, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that kid from, you'll know them, and you'll be like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And I love all art. I love all food. I think that what Taurus does with ceramics is really, really impressive. Above and beyond what I, every time I expect, I know what I'm going to see, and every time I'm a little bit blown away by the ceramics.
Yeah. And speaking about being a parent in the community, I was a parent in the community. Both my kids went to Newport Harbor. They both had Mr. Torres for ceramics. My daughter was a 3-year ceramics student, and what he was able to get her to do, her threshold kept rising as a ceramics student because of his mentorship, his just being an excellent art teacher. I was blown away by what my daughter was doing in the ceramics class. One of the pieces actually won a district art competition, and actually was displayed in the City of Costa Mesa Art Show. And it was just amazing. I mean, it really came out of nowhere, that piece of it. And also taking students that don't, and I've heard this over and over and over again from a parent perspective, taking students that aren't keen on art and getting them there with photography, painting and drawing and ceramics.
Yeah, I think all our art teachers really have like an artist mindset. At least that's what it appears to me, kind of from slightly outside their realm, that like they're teaching really good art, right? So our students become artists.
Absolutely. And the culinary program, I can say, I don't want to compare one program to the other, but in the community, it is highly, highly valued because of the hospitality industry, the country clubs, the hotels, the restaurants that are in Costa Mesa and Newport Beach, what our students are able to produce. Parents will unequivocally, or they mention all the time that I have a student in culinary and they made me this tonight to eat. And it's neat to hear that. So beyond culinary and the Evening of the Arts and Taste of Newport, what else is on tap for culinary? Because you've got competition season coming up too for FCCLA and ProStart.
Yeah, so for FCCLA, we just finished up our regionals about a month ago, and then in April, it's going to be state, so for all of California. And so there's a variety of people that are competing in that. I'm competing with Bradley in food innovations, so we got first at regionals, so we'll be moving on to state, and we'll be competing there.
Yeah.
And if you get first, second, or third in state, you go to nationals, right?
Yeah, which I believe is in Orlando. Or no,
I was told Washington.
Washington, D.C.
Changes
DC.
every year, yeah.
I'd rather go to DC than Orlando. But
No
shade. No shade. I mean, kind of shade.
Now you got my mind going somewhere else. But then after nationals, there's a
nationals is just kind of like the end. If you win there, you're done.
Yeah.
And I believe we've won nationals like 3 or 4 times in our school history.
Maybe 5.
Which is impressive.
Yeah.
And we won state so many times I've lost count.
Yeah.
But at the regionals, there's different categories that I saw our students placed in. So you placed first in food innovation. What other categories do they compete in?
There's a variety of, so like there's tons of different categories, and then there's also levels. So like based off what grade you're in different levels. So some examples for other categories are like appetizers, and then there's also like even more subcategories on like each level, and each category has like a more specific thing. So like if you're doing appetizers, it may be keyed towards like a central theme, or breads, and it's keyed toward a central theme.
And it doesn't even have to be food related. Like you can do table display, where you just display a table, and then that you can get ranks on that. Or there's like the cake one, where it's not real cake, or it could be like, it depends. Some of it's styrofoam, some of it's cake, and you decorate it like you're really decorating cake, but it's not a cake. It's just for looks,
Right.
Yeah.
And we placed, I believe, in many, many different categories within the regionals. And so we have the team going to state. And just very quickly, state encompasses, it's in Riverside, I think, this year. Yeah. It's a 3-day competition. You have to take all the equipment. The entire team of like 28 students goes, and the teachers. It's quite an undertaking. And you take your own burners, you take your own ingredients, you take your own utensils and mixers and spoons and all that.
I'm pretty sure it, depending on what category you're in, you have either less or more. Like with us, with Food Innovations, we just really have a poster and then the product. But some of the kids that are doing bigger stuff will be bringing not their own stoves. Usually they'll have stoves, but they'll be doing prep like a few days before and have all the stuff that they need to make it.
Yeah.
That is, however, exactly what ProStart is like. So ProStart is separate from FCCLA, and it's a 4-person team, and you have to make a 3-course meal in under an hour, and you're only provided 2 burners, and you have to bring everything else. So you bring all your equipment, you bring all your ingredients. It has to be temped before you go in, and if it's under temp, they'll throw it away. And if it's not on the list you brought, they'll throw it away. It's very intense, and for months we practiced. I was the captain of the team, and this year was an all-girls team. I was on it last year as well, but I was the only girl. So this year as a captain, I made an all-girls team, and I was pretty proud of myself for that. And they did very well. We got 4th place compared to last year when we got 8th place. And 2 of our meals from ProStart is on our Taste of Harbor menu as well.
Yeah, I was talking to Miss Powell and Miss Kingsbury after that. They were like gushing at how proud they were of the team and all this. And they talk about how during it's an hour, right?
Yes.
During the hour of prep and cook time, they're not able to coach.
No, they
can't
cannot talk
help
to us at all.
And so they just talk about standing on the sideline, just like on one hand, not wanting to watch, so anxious about it, but then also seeing the results of what their kids have been doing and watching them do it on their own. And I imagine it kind of like kicking a little bird out of the nest so it can fly. Like it sounded like it was really, really brilliant for them.
It's incredible. Well, thank you, and we look forward to Taste of Newport Evening of the Arts on Tuesday, March 31st. And what times are they on
From
Tuesday?
5 to 8, I'm pretty sure.
5 to 8. Inner quad is where in between the 2 gyms.
It's the deck. I don't know. It's kind of the
By the
area.
anchor.
The deck.
Yeah,
By the
it's in between
anchor
the 2
is where
gyms.
the art is displayed.
I think that's where the food is, and then I believe in the gym is where the art is.
The small gym.
displayed. Yes.
Yeah. So just go to the anchor at Newport Harbor High School, 600 Irvine Boulevard, Newport Beach, California, 5 to 8.
Yes.
Yep.
Get out there. And I believe our midshipman jazz band will be playing before the event kicks off. So our music program will be displayed as well. But come one, come all, and don't forget a happy stomach means happy heart. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you, students. Thank you, Mr. Armstrong, as usual. And as always, go Sailors.
Go Sailors.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
Sailors.
Go Sailors!
Go Sailors.